trying again today because I did a load of filming of the Masdevallias in here yesterday, and it's a pain to do it because of the amount of stuff that's in here. And I finished the Dracula, sorted them, filming, and then did the other, and then sat back in front of the computer. One lot I hadn't recorded, so obviously I hadn't pressed the button properly. So I was talking to fresh air, well, myself really. And then the next lot, I had the camera up the wrong way, it was all upright instead of landscape. At that point, I was a bit hacked off. So I stopped what I was doing and decided to have another go today. Luckily, the weather today is conducive to what I was doing yesterday, which is always a good plan. Now the camera's on a monopod out here because I can't get a tripod, so some of it will be okay, some of it might be a bit shaky, so I'll apologise in advance. I will do what I can do. Now the first thing, well, really the main reason for being here was to have a look-see. Just move my watering sprayer. Have a look here, before your very eyes, at Masdevallia Brian Charles. All of his 6 buds are open. He's got 6 flowers open. And I know I've said it before, and it's probably boring, I keep saying it, but I just love the flower. The flower, the shape, it's so beautiful. The angles of the tails are good. The colour is so dense. The stripes, and on the back, so many spots. What comes out in this is absolutely amazing. And where's Stacia? There's Stacia. It's a hybrid between Stacia, Masdevallia Stacia, and Masdevallia Fraseri. Fraseri is a primary hybrid, it's not a species. Stacia is a species. Stop knocking the thing. Here is Masdevallia Stacia. Look at that in there. It's like 2 little pincers. You can see it. It smells evil, this plant. Flowers, the scent is vile. But I live in hopes that one day, come on, focus. I live in the vain hope one day that I will have more than 2 flowers. I think the most I've had is 3. Look at this plant. Look at the leaves on it. So many. I spoke to Trey about it, and he said, put it up in the higher light. So I've hung it up on the I've got what they call a hanging basket rail, which is on the apex of the roof. And I've hung it up from there. It's not going to do any good this season, obviously. That one had 2 flowers on, my other one only had 1. But because of its pendulous habit, it means that Brian Charles won't stand upright if you put him in a pot the right way up. He just flops over the side and is a pain. So I had some of those octagonal baskets, and I just cut a section of the middle section out at the bottom and put it up through. It's been like that for is this the first? No, this is the second one I bought the following year. Where are we? I think this is 2 years ago. Yeah, 18. June 18 at Malvern. And it's been in there ever since. So I put charcoal in with the sphagnum. It's got bark in there as well. And what I plan to do is take the hanger off, lay it down in a tray while it's wet, and pull the moss out whilst not ruining the roots. That's the theory, to get it repotted, because I've got to put a fresh lot in. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be even harder because of the way those growths are going, and I don't want to ruin the growths. Some of them are coming, like these two, coming through the hole on the side of the basket. I don't want to sacrifice anything. So we shall see what happens when we do it. Now, if we can turn you around, maybe we can do it from there and maybe zoom in on that flower furthest away. What do you think? Let's move you as close as you can go. It's on there. I think I need to go this a bit higher. Yeah, there it is. That's what I want to zoom in. See if I can zoom in and hold that up there. No, I've got to lower it because I've put it too far up now. There you go, you can see it through there. But hopefully what you can pick up is the spots on the back of that flower. And if we have a look at, maybe we'll get into closer to this one. That one's not going to be very easy. Let's zoom out a bit. Let's see if we can focus on you if I hold that way. And you can just see the sheer number of spots and the even on the back of that tail, it goes up that tail as well. The contrast on there is gorgeous. Even the inside, you've got yellow going down to that throat. I don't know how close that will let us go. Yellow with the red, and velvety soft, velvety soft. Go down, oh, yours down as far as you're going. Zoom out then. On the front there. The other one's only got one flower this year, so they definitely need to be repotted. Otherwise they won't perform next year. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 major repots to do from big pots that are specimen sized plants. And I just pray that I don't ruin it, because I'm a bit ham-fisted sometimes and things go wrong. Here, sneaking into the screen, Masdevallia Kimberliana, lemon. I've had this plant 2014. Still, I don't get a specimen sized plant. It's recovering again. It goes up, it goes down. This time I put it in this terracotta pot, and it's seen, well, it's worked, because when did I do it? April 20, so a couple of months ago. And now we've got new growths coming. We've got young growths there. We've got new growth going. Hopefully the roots are growing in there. But it is a stunner. And the Kimberliana, my other one, grows like a weed, and last year there was nearly 50 flowers on it. There was about 35 this year because I hadn't repotted it. And I need to save it for next year. But I am going to get in there, separate it, and pull all of the middle spikes out that are now dead. Right, here we've got a little beauty that is a tiny, teeny tiny orchid. Stop wobbling. That orchid is no more than half an inch long, and I'd have to get my macro lens to get it to focus on there. But Morichoy, been trying to grow that since 2018, and it's now decided. Lovely growths on it. It's got beautiful growth. It's got beautiful new, whoops, doing it wrong. Beautiful new growth coming in there, and it's got these lovely black ramicles, they call them, at the bottom of the spike. And we've got lots. We've got a dead leaf in there. Oh look, we've got another little dinky flower spike in there as well. Just there. So he's finally happy. But I've got a dinky one here. One of the new ones I got from Equigenera. Masdevallia, Xanthina, Largo. See? Tiny. That's a 5 centimetre pot, I'd say. Leaves are tiny. Look at that flower in there, coming up from there. And I've got Masdevallia Xanthina, I noticed this morning, also had a flower spike on it. Yes. Don't tell me, well, this one's bigger. That's Masdevallia. One on your left as you're looking at it is Masdevallia Xanthina Largo. This one is Masdevallia Xanthina. I managed to kill mine. So this year I got hold of another one. He's got one flower spike on. Two. There's one down there. And I've got to try and not kill these because I won't get hold of it again. But pretty they are. I love them. Now you, where did I get you from? No, you've got to go up there. You've got to go down there. And the other thing, and I posted on Mixed Group this week, is beautiful Cetacea. That should have been Leonii. I put a pop-up with this to show you what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this. I was pleasantly surprised. I said to Mick after seeing his, I needed to get hold of it. And in Malvern last year, Periflora was there, and they owed me some money from plants they didn't bring with them a couple of years before that. And I asked them to repay it into my PayPal account. They never did. But I saw him last year and said, look, you know, this money's been outstanding for 2 years now. And he said, it was over $50. So he said, oh, I'm really sorry. He said, but pick what you want, he said, to that value. And of course, they didn't have everything I wanted. So as I've got Masdevallia Leonii, but when it's one I really, really like, and it's taken a long time for me to grow Leonii and get it to flower, and I had multiple flowerings on it last year, I decided to get another one just in case, because if I've got a really nice one I like, I get two. This is my other one. And when did that come? Well, I repotted it in April 19, so I'd had it a couple of years before that, because in April 18 he didn't come. And on the back of these, when they change colour, this is what happens to the leaves. But they've got the black ramicles as well, and I don't know what it does. It's you see it on some of them if you choose those flowers. It's like the black hair dendrobes. The Masdevallias have these ramicles on, which make the stems all black. Oh look! Having said that, oh, I'm glad I picked you up. 2, 3 flowers. 3 flowers there. This flowered for 6 months last year, which is why I repotted it. Another one coming out there that you can't see yet. So there's at least 4 flowers coming out there. Marvellous, marvellous stuff. Marvellous stuff. Right, what we have here It's a really nice Eric Young hybrid. And it's called Masdevallia Bouleveau. And every so often when you go to Burnham's, Sarah will have brought back some Masdevallias of the crosses that were done at the Eric Young Foundation. And I go foraging every time I'm there to see what she's brought back. And I just love this. It's such a strong orange. Yellow centre. It's already flowered once. It's gotten 2 flowers on now. That one's finished. So I'm pretty sure that, oh look, and there's another spike down there. So there's going to be 3 on there. My Mazda Cetacea. No, yeah, Cetacea. It should have been Leonii. Labelled Leonii. And I got it last June at Malvern. Can't believe how big the tails are. He was giving me some plants for money that they hadn't refunded to my PayPal account, and I didn't see a lot that I wanted, and I've already got Leonii as quite a specimen plant, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to get another one because I really like it and they're hard to get hold of, and if anything happens to it I've got 2, which I often do. I often have more than one of the ones I like, but this was a nice surprise because I already, as I say, have Leonii, so I can live with that. I haven't got Cetacea. I wanted Cetacea, and it is stunning. I knew it was wrong when I saw it growing and I saw the tails on the flower before the bud opened, and it reminded me of going back to mix. I went back on mix videos because I knew it pointed me to something, but I didn't know what. And when I looked, and I wasn't sure whether it was Cloacea or Cetacea, but thought it was Cetacea. So sent Mick a picture and he confirmed that it's Cetacea, so that's good enough for me because he's got one and I don't. And it's obviously, what I do know is not a Leonii. And what we've got here is a Mazda Kimballiana Lemon, which is beautiful. This plant I have had since 2014, that says, so 6 years, and it's got bigger, but then it's gone backwards, and now it's growing another new bunch and going forwards again. So what I did this year, last season, was put it in, I think I did it in April this year. Put it in a terracotta pot with moss. We've got more roots, it's coming. Now I need to find it and grow it in something that it likes. I mean, the normal bog standard Kimballiana grows like a weed. And if you compare my Kimballiana proper, which throws me out 40 odd flowers a year, to that is quite poor. But say lovey, at least it's flowered before me again. It didn't flower last year because it spent all its time going backwards. And here we have another pretty one as well. This again was one of the ones I picked up at Periflora, Hymenantha. And look at that dainty flower. It's not an in-your-face wow I like it, but it's beautiful condition. It's put me up a single flower, which I like. I like the flower. And the other one I need to show you is Prince Charming, Angulata Crossviciana. I'm going to prop this, but oh, there we go. Let's see. Let's go up there. If I can get this Spanish moss out of the way, I might be able to see what I'm doing. And there it is. This plant is donkey years old. All this colouring and mottling, it happens to this plant as it ages. I got it. It's 2003 this was potted. So that's 17 years old. I won it in 2017 in a raffle. And I've kept it since and not split it. And eventually, like this one, as they do this, it'll die and drop off. But all of the new leaves come out and then they develop that colour. When you speak to some judges, they say, oh, it's too much daylight. Well, it isn't too much daylight, and it isn't too much sun because it doesn't get any, and it's shaded all the way. But they don't believe me, so it never does anything on a show bench because of that. But it is a beauty, I think you'll agree. And it's still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I saw a new one growing as well. Or was I dreaming? No, there's another one growing. Look there, if you can see where my finger is, right there. Another new one growing from start. Still got new leaves. Again, this one's got to come out of its pot this year. And so's coriacia, because they're all done at the same time. And I'm going to tip a lot of them up, which won't be an easy task. So now we're going to go backwards and leave this greenhouse, and then I can show you in here as well the Spanish moss that I use in here. What I don't wish to do is fall over my sprayer because it's full up and I'll break my flipping neck. There you are. Spanish moss everywhere again. In fact, this one down here, it reached the floor last year, so I just took off the bit, put it up the top, and here I'll take this out with the monopod, because in here what I do is take it up and put it over the rails as well. So there's a lot of it everywhere. It's good stuff. There's a nice big lot in there that reaches right down. And there's another nice lot up there, which keeps the humidity. The thing with this house is keeping the humidity and temperature going, which is again why I spray that the same way that I do in the other house. And it helps. Doesn't have to be electric being used all the time. It's you can do it with the, well, I had to use Spanish moss before I had the foggers. Now the foggers do the job, but they're not cheap. So look at what we can see from here. Mr. Brian Charles. Oh, I love that flower. You'd never guess, would you? You'd never guess what I like and what I don't like. Not from what's in here. Right, now on to the next bit. Back soon. Right, here we are, and we've got room to move out here with this plant. It's Masdevallia Prince Charming, and it's a cross between Angulata and Veitchiana. Angulata, I'll put a pop up for that. You know what Veitchiana's like, but Angulata is a very bizarre coloured plant, but I like it. And its flowers sit on top of the pot, over the edge. I showed it in a previous video, and I just love what it's done. The mix has done to this gorgeous flower, because the Angulata has toned it down to a much more subtle colour. And this is a specimen sized plant. I won it in an orchid raffle in 2017, but the split was made in 2003, according to that. So it's an old plant, and I've with this plant you get a load of markings. You can see the way the new leaves change colour. And the older RHS judges, no, it shouldn't be that colour. You've had it in too much light. That is not a problem with light. This is a problem with light over here, with yellow. Or yellow and green. You can see the new leaves come up beautifully green. They're really leathery. But then very slowly over time, those are still okay. Those are still okay. Oh, look, there's another flower spike there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flower spikes, and we've had 4 or before those. Yeah, it just, the pigment changes in the leaves, and it does when, like, this one has gone really dark, and this is the one that's going to go first, because there's a lot more orange, a lot more colour disappeared in there. You can see that one's not as far gone as that one, and what happens is natural wastage, those leaves drop off. That'll be the next one to drop off, then possibly that one. It'll be a couple of years before the rest. Oh, maybe that one, that's an older one, but this is what it does. And this is another one that the flowers don't really like being held up, and I let them hang. I suppose it's not too bad. I could stake them all. I wonder if I could, and then that damn slug couldn't keep eating them. Because actually, once you put them up, I'm going to start staking this when it flowers. Look at it. That is a stunning big flower, isn't it? Maybe we will. Maybe. I've never done it before because they hang, and that's how they grow. But because, as I say, angulata grows and sits. Oh, I put both flowers up actually. Sits over the. They're on about a 2-inch flower spike. They don't have a big flower spike than that, and they're low down in the pot. So this is where this comes from, because that's what the angulata does. But of course, we know Vitiano is a long-legged, showy plant, don't we? Beautiful plant, mind you. But with that, I'm going to put this back and I'm going to leave it there, and then the other bits that I filmed I can add to this that were right. Hopefully there won't be a problem today, but we'll see what happens. And as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you're all staying safe and not doing too much too soon, like some people are. And I'll see you again soon. Bye bye for now.